Let's light the fires and kick the tires. For San Angelo Live, I'm Manny Diaz. Saturday night marked the 10th anniversary of the Cinch Chute Out in San Angelo, and the fellas riding the broncs did not disappoint. In the opening round of saddle bronc riding, talk about taking a beating. From ugly falls to getting stepped on, things were not looking good for the Cowboys. But there were a few that made the whistle, not to mention made it look pretty darn easy, like this Canadian cowboy Colby Wainchuck taking a Pete Car Bronc Rivers Ghost for an 88-point ride. Another guy that would join Wainchuck in the short round was the two-time all-around world champion Stetson Wright, doing work riding the Pete Car horse downtown for an 84. Alan Bohr also joining the two to make it out of the long round. To bareback riding, brace yourself because this is likely a ride we'll be talking about for the ages. Will Lowe hopping on the Butler & Sons Bronc Killer B. This ride looked great until the horse bucked off the 38-year-old cowboy and hooved him on the way down. A very scary moment for Lowe, who managed to get up and walk off the arena floor. Unfortunately, his 84-point ride was not good enough to make the short round. Now to Tim O'Connell, the defending Cinch Chute Out champion. His 94-point ride last year on the horse Stevie Nicks tied a world record. On Saturday night, O'Connell rode San Angelo Sam for an 88 score that would send him to the short round. Of course, if one O'Connell in the short round is good, two is better. Shane O'Connell, no relation to Tim, took on the Bronc Cours Original, and like the other O'Connell, notched an 88-point ride. But there was still one slot to be filled with the number one bronc rider in the world, a.k.a. the Yellowstone star, Tilden Hooper. The cowboy from Carthage, Texas, hopped on the Butler & Sons Bronc South Suds and did his thing for an 89-point ride, creating one heck of a short round to watch. To the money round, following an Alan Bohr 83-point ride, Stetson Wright climbed aboard Big Tex, and look at him go. Wright good for an 88.5-point ride on the Pete Car Bronc. Wright setting the bar pretty high for Colby Wainchuck. Up next, the Canadian cowboy trying to one-up the all-around world champion, and what a ride he assembled on the back of Dirty Jacket. But in the end, his 86.5 wasn't quite enough to outlast the Utah Cowboy, as Stetson Wright takes the 2021 Cinch Chute Out Saddle Bronc title. To the bareback riding short round, some confusion here, as normally the number one rider from the long round goes last in the short round. Tilden Hooper, the number one guy from the previous round, going first, notching an 85.5-point ride on Exotic Dancer. Now here's where it got even more sideways. Shane O'Connell was set to ride the Pickett Pro Rodeo Bronc Uncapped, a horse that last year was part of a 92.5-point record-setting ride in Dodge City. Somehow, Shane ended up with the horse Tic Tac, notching an 87.5-point ride, besting the Yellowstone star Tilden Hooper. But to begin with, O'Connell wasn't exactly a happy camper. He was originally assigned to ride the horse Uncapped heading into the final round. So it all came down to the defending Cinch Chute Out champion Tim O'Connell riding Uncapped. And look at the champ go, scoring an 89.5, giving him back-to-back San Angelo Cinch Chute Out titles, the first cowboy to ever do so. Goes to show why there was commotion over who would ride the NFR bucking horse Uncapped. The difference between winning first and second place? What was a cool $4,000. Yeah. Nonetheless, talk about two excitement-filled rounds in bareback and saddle bronc riding presented by Michelob Ultra. For San Angelo Live, I'm Manny Diaz. We'll see you next year.